Hey guys, Knight of Heart here, and welcome back to Act Omega. This episode would have came out sooner, but what happened was that the second recording that I did, like a few days ago, it was like messed up. I don't know what was wrong, it just wasn't working, so I gotta read everything all over again. But luckily, there hasn't been any updates, so this episode will be kinda officially, the last one I'm gonna read, because I read from this part all the way to this one. So after this is done, it's time to read some more new comics. And I know that you guys have been telling me different comics. Different comics, fan comics or whatever. It's just that I've looked at them, I just haven't read them, because I read one thing at a time, because it's just like, why read multiple things if it's taking you forever to read one? I might as well just continue reading one. You know what I mean? Like, so for anyone who was suggesting me different comics in the comment sections before, you're free to do it again. Leave comments of comics in the comment section down below, and I'll check them out, and I'll probably read them. Or, check them out and read one of them at a time. If yours doesn't get read, read as soon, don't worry, I probably still looked at it. So, whatever. But anyways, let's get back to the episode. Last time we left off, Dave and Carcat, actually, my bad, just woke up, and Gamzee is tight, and he's very upset, and now it's just like, okay, he just kind of, looks like, okay, now he's in his God tier costume. Okay, the Caliborn cracks. He's clearly in a dream. Dream bubble shenanigans ensure. Oh yes, the land of floating brains. Yes, good old Solix planet, which was weird. It's like floating brains. Like, are they all super brains, or are they just brains? Like, whose brains are they? Are they sentient brains that are just so smart they can just survive just floating as a head? They probably answered that in the comic. I just don't remember. Like, so. Alright, so, yep. Look at this man frowning like he always is. Fucking Eridan's always frowning, man. Okay, got the freaking trolls things. Yeah, this man's just sitting there like, what the fuck's going on? He's just looking at that giant black hole. He's just like, the fuck? Oh, look! It's Bay, one of the best trolls. Her and Kanaya, and I guess, if I just say the top 3 girls in the troll little thing, it'd probably be, it'd be Kanaya, Aradia, and it's between Terezi and Verska, because like Verska's pretty cool. I also just didn't like her at some point because she was a total bitch, but she also knows what she's doing as well. And then Terezi's really cool as well. All right, Gamzee's gone. I guess Aradia knew he was there, and I guess it's whatever. Reality is cracking at its seams, being sucked up by a black hole. Okay, and there's our girl. There is our girl walking. Each time I walk alone, I walk alone. I probably didn't say the first part right, but you know that song. Okay. And then now, and then we have shifted to another dream bubble. We got Caliborn, or no, that's Jake. That's not Caliborn. That's Jake. Okay, all right. Let's start reading. Let me get some water there. That wasn't water. That was Gatorade, but okay. All right. Madam Alien, I know this isn't normally how our exchanges begin with all the time shenanigans and casual spoilers afoot, but you told me I should expect another missive. Okay, yeah, that's what it says. I should expect another missive from you within these time frames, and I've yet to hear a single peep. Considering on how the ball you've been considering on the ball you've been with the Bunny Project thus far, this strikes me as a little troubling. Is everything alright? Roxy kind of implied something might have gone amiss with you and your brother, or will it in the future? Phew, I wish I knew so I might be able to lend a hand. He didn't say be able to, but I don't fucking care. She did also mention something about using your name, but I'm afraid I can't remember what it was, or what for. Maybe you can remind me? After all, it's hardly like you'll be breaking any more rules. Ah, shoot. It just occurred to me I might be screwing with the pooch here. Does any of that count as spoilers? Hello? Still nothing, huh? Oh well. Maybe, mayhaps. I guess perhaps it may be. Mayhaps you'll see these messages later and get back to me. I might as well update you on my progress while I have the chance. I've been collecting as much grits as I can per hour. Per your instructions. But it's been hell of an ordeal thus far, let me tell you. The gizmo in Jane's is incredibly handy when it comes to shredding the items into grist, but sometimes it seems like such a waste. It doesn't give you much of the rare stuff anyway. It's significantly more effort collecting those, what's with how tough all these skeletons are and how few spoils they drop. Though I have to admit, with Dirk's help, it's been considerably easier. In fact, he's been a real sport about the whole thing. The moment I mentioned it to him, he took it to like a stallion to an open prairie. He's been organizing excursions all over Rolmax and Lotac, and even the other two planets every so often. He does all this research and reconnaissance to maximize the haul for each raid. We've stumbled upon a number of ample grist caches, all thanks to him. Though perhaps he does get a little too invested in his planning phase. He looks so crestfallen when things don't go how he hopes, or as much as such a poker-faced fella can look anyway. It's a fairly subtle thing. I keep meaning to tell him how much I enjoy our time together anyways, and appreciate all the thought he puts into everything. But then, of course, I get so absorbed in the action, in the adventure, that by the time I remember, I'm pretty tuckered out, and it doesn't seem like the right moment. I'm sure he does know though, or at least I hope he does. I hope he does? Question mark, statement, whatever. It's sort of hard to tell what's going on in that hyperactive noggin of his. A lot harder than I thought it would be. But I think I think I've been really getting the hang of it lately. I worry he gets so caught up in his own head sometimes that he can hardly see the treasure but for the map. It can also get a little frustrating, especially when the treasure is, well, me. He's always so stiff on edge, second guessing nearly everything I do and say. And when he's not upfront about it, I can tell he must be thinking it. Like, he just can't bring himself to believe that I would actually want to do something so outrageous as, hold his hand. Like, by Jove, all of his storms and moons, I don't know how much more Blaine I can be without throwing myself at him, I had it right. I had it right, and then I just fucked up somehow. I can't be, let's just start that over. Okay. Like, by Jove, all of his storms and moons, I don't know how much more blatant I can be without throwing myself at him whole hog. And what if he still doesn't believe me then? What then? Poor Jake, looking all sad and shit. Don't worry, Jake, don't worry. You will get your freaking boyfriend in time, and then break up, but then maybe get back together in this fan comic. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard on him, taking it too personally. I can hardly blame the guy for being nervous, especially considering his previous circumstances, even if it is a tad unexpected. What with how unrelenting he is in entering this arrangement, I really didn't think he'd be the type to get cold feet. Though that probably isn't entirely a fair assessment. It was the autoresponder who championed the majority of the hyper-aggressive courtship tactics, if I recall correctly. He played at being Dirk so often you can't fault me too much for getting the two mixed up in my head sometimes. In fact, I think it's probably the most infuriating part of this whole thing. Oh, question. Whatever. With the artificial copycat brain ghosts and robots, it feels like I've been practically drowning in Striders for years. Yet, almost none of it has brought me any closer to the genuine article. All those stupid splinters have managed to do is turn our relationship into a frustratingly tangled web that has me all topsy-turvy. I don't know what's up or what's down, or what's true or what's not. Whether Dirk is mostly innocent, or whether Dirk is a mostly innocent bystander, or if he's or if he's complicit in the whole affair. And now that we're both finally together in the flesh, I thought this might be our chance to do away with all that rigmarole and get to the heart of things. All right, I'm starting to fuck up. I've been doing pretty good. So far. Let's not fuck up now. Okay, let me get this. Gatorade's so good. It's on sale in my store, so I just keep on buying more Gatorade till it's not on sale. Okay, I'm gonna read from this part again. I'm just gonna do this over again. And now that we're both finally together in the flesh, I thought that it might be our chance to do away with all the rigmarole and get to the heart of things. Only to now find him perpetually holding back on me. His constant His constant reticence almost seems to imply that he might be losing interest, or maybe he didn't even like me at all that much in the first place. I made too many hasty assumptions based off my own selfish desires. The AR's constant melodramatic certainly didn't help. Confirmation biased? Have I really been an absolute dunderhead this entire time? No. Get a grip, English. Now who's the one being melodramatic? I know what the problem is. I just wish I knew what to do about it. What do you think? Gee, this man was going off. Wait, what am I doing? Silly me. Why am I bothering you with all this? You are an alien after all. I must sound utterly bonkers. There I go again, rambling along about how completely whizzing past my own point. Whoopsie-daisy. So getting back to the urgent matter at hand here, I'd like to know if all this grist we've collected is enough to make those weapons you keep mentioning. Thing is, I'm unsure how I'm even meant to send them back to myself in the past. I'm sure I can puzzle it out eventually, but any hints at all would be aces. Jake! Jake, stop talking! I don't care, Jake. I don't care. No, I'm joking. There you are. It's high time. Sorry about that bona fide mountain of text I sent you. I keep on saying I. You really don't need to read through any of it. Some of it might have been a tinge too personal, actually. I'm not worried about any of that. What? Oh, well, of course you aren't. This is absolutely no reason for someone like you to find any of this drivel even remotely worth reading. Off into obscurity it goes, never to be acknowledged or spoken of again. I'm glad you and I are on the same page, Jake. Even though I've read it before, none of that matters now because you're here with me. I'm what? Callie, as wonderful as it is to finally be hearing from you again, you're not making a lick of sense. Are you sure about that? You just used my name. I thought you couldn't remember. Oh, did I? Huh. I guess I did remember after all. Yes, you did, and now you have to remember everything else, love. I really hate to rush you, but we don't have much time. At least I don't think we do. Hold on. I think the cracking has stopped. Oh, thank goodness. I'm awfully tired of running. Perhaps you've become my oasis from all this ghastly destruction. Though I doubt it was intentional, you have my eternal gratitude. It is so nice to finally see a familiar face, one that isn't my own anyway. Yeah, fucking Caliborn. And then she just walks in. Yeah, she just walks in the fucking, like, she walks in the transition of the panel. Like, this was reality, and she just said, yeah, I'm just gonna walk on, like, I don't know, it's weird. Never mind, it didn't matter. Oh, yeah, that's all you can say, is just, oh, like Jake was unaware that this chick was even there, and then she just, like, walks in, like, it's just weird. I'm confused. I can imagine you must be. Just give it a moment. So, this is a memory? Correct! Now with that deciphered, we can move on how you got here. I do not mean to pressure you, but I really am dreadfully curious. How I got here? Where is here? I take it this isn't really Lomax. This is a dream bubble, Jake. You have visited them before, haven't you? Oh right, yes, I think I have. Good gravy, Callie. I really must be trying here, but everything is so fuzzy. And also, I'm getting the feeling that maybe I don't want to remember. At least not quite yet. Oh, well, that's alright. It may have been foolish to try to push you along quickly. I really ought to be relishing my every moment with friends. Does every visit to the bubble have to be this dab-blasted disorienting? I wish I could answer that, but I really don't know. The few visitors I have all went through similar gauntlets, and my own time has been more of a permanent kind. Permanent? Permanent in the sense that I was quite obviously dead from the very beginning. Oh no, you're dead? That's terrible. Well, I was alive for a little while, and I got to meet all of you. It was brief, but it was still a tremendous blessing. My only regret is how unceremoniously it ended. Well, that's not entirely true. I regret an awful lot, more than that, my death itself being a prime example. But after a lot of thinking, I have found that I regret much less than I used to believe I should. Then again, perhaps the pain of so much loss has finally started to dull. Still, I wish I could know what became of everyone, yourself included. And if you would allow me to help you along your way of remembering, whenever you feel you're ready to do so, I would ever be so grateful. Oh my gosh, she is such a good fucking friend. Like, the respect is going out of my heart and going into a fictional character. Why, of course, I would be honored to accept this assistance of such a brave young lady of unwavering friendship as yourself. But maybe we can spend a little time relaxing first, you know, hanging out. Yeah, you see, such a good friendship. It just warms up my soul. It just warms up my soul. You certainly won't be catching me complicating. You certainly won't catch me complaining. But this situation is starting to feel familiar. Say, Jake, in the interest of hanging out, have you ever heard of a trollsona? A what? Oh no. Trollsona time, everyone. Alright, Jack, help Miss Paint bring CD to infirmary. Your name is Jack Noir. You've recently lost your arm, your ring of power, and your infernal canine looks after your male-crazed rival finally got the drop on you. Right now, you're a dog in a different way, lugging an alternate version of one of your old subordinates to a camp at the stress of the lady known as Miss Paint. You've been brought back to square one, sentenced to a life of community service and via a fair trial as punishment for all your so-called crimes against the whatever that is. You wouldn't really call it proceedings fair, seeming as Miss Paint was the only active jury member, the judge was the guy you thought you killed, and the prosecution was the maid and the mad male woman herself. The whole thing lasted about 15 minutes. The bias was overwhelming for some corpses who are now under the bridge. You wouldn't fight against this brutal injustice, but all of your weapons were swiftly confiscated, along with your dignity, which you really like back. Damn Paint. Dame Paint asks you with the sticky, sweet tone of hers to set the runt down on nice and easy. You say that you don't like it, but you humor her just this once. She shouldn't expect you to keep going along with all her ridiculous favors. She says that you have to. It was court ordered. You snarl a little and bite your tongue before you let out any swears, since those would also be against your court orders. Oh, sorry. There. The lady gets all up in arms for you dropping the deuce on the ground, but you assure her that this is your idea of gentle. Neither she nor the court has ever given you an exact definition of the word, as per Section C, subsection 222B of Go Fuck Yourself clause. Jack, ignore scolding. You turn away to ignore the broad scolding constant let's try again. You turn away to ignore the broad's constant yammering. Okay, you don't really mean that. Miss Paint is actually pretty alright. She's no queen, but then again, you've never cared for queens anyways. You can't help but notice that the grayish inkling of respect for the gal has seeped out from your core of black and grit. It takes a special sort of choose-pod to keep a place like this up and running. Her constant nagging and I should know this word. Attitude may be a grate on you, but if you had to choose which demurring dame you'd rather play lackey to, not that you ever had a choice, she'd be your pick over her any day. Her. I hope you don't have to lay eyes on that one for a while. Oh fuck, she's already here, isn't she? She's always doing that. It's a running joke that plagues your entire life and will never not keep happening. Alright, okay, she landed down. She's helping people. Alright, I see you. You wish you could refrain from giving her a meaningful glower every time she returns on one of her many rescue missions around the medium. She spends all her time rounding up these prospians and Dursites, and even a bunch of little vermin that are all as good as uncarved tombstones. Not once has you returned your look in the eyes since the trial. Make your chest hurt something fierce. You might need to ask her for some heartburn medication. Oh, there's the mayor. Good old mayor. Now this guy, He's his own can of worms. Speaking of cans, what is he doing passing out all these rations and mysterious notes? As far as you can tell, he's really determined to try his hand at the whole democracy thing. Funny how he seems to already be sitting his pretty little mayor, sitting in his little, Funny how he seems to already be sitting pretty in his little mayor position, even though nobody voted for him. You can smell the corrupt wafting off this fledgling political nightmare already. You're willing to bet a considerable sum of those torn rags are ballots with exactly one box to tick. The little scam artist thinks he's so much better than you, huh? If you weren't being kept on such a short leash, you would be crossing him off the top of the ranks of your most wanted dead, not alive list. Skewering him the second time is bound to be plenty satisfying. So as long as he stays down, your track record hasn't exactly been spotless. And while these guys are taking numbers, you're willing to bet that no one will notice a little law breaking. Jack, abscond. You try to slick away real casually like, but then some jackass makes you beeline from the tree line. Then some jackass makes a beeline from the tree line and tackles you head on, directly into your forehead. That must have hurt. Jack, stab. Stab with eyes. Unfortunately, you don't have the means to rip this interlopers open due to your very own insufficient blade count. You have no choice but to use an as-of-yet unseen power, your level 99 glaring daggers. These babies really know how to rough them up on a metaphorical level, and you're going to take a lot of metaphorical pleasure in carving your disdain from this encounter into his memory. Like, wow. Jack abscond? Oh, another set of daggers. Are those glaring daggers? It can't be! Bakara! Her power is matched with your own, and there's no escaping how shaken it's left you. You can't stab, you can't run, you can't hide. At least not yet. You're really starting to become increasingly sentimental over the good old days. Jack, BPM. You are now whatever. You always have been in one way or another until recently. Wait. Okay, you know, let's just start that over again. Alright. Okay. You are now PM. You always have been in one way or another, but until recently you haven't looked the part. After all, you devoted a whole 21 dog years to delivering the crazed outlaw Jack Noir a swift package of justice. And as you are painfully aware, the criminal fled the scene, and the mission quickly turned into an endless game of cat dog and dog mouse. It's unsurprising, not unsurprisingly, you caught them attempting to scurry away once again. Though the chase has ended in his trial, and his trial is over. I guess there is no is, but I added it in there. You should know better than to leave him unsupervised. The moment he gets his hands on anything even remotely pointy, he'll be driving it into your chest. But you can't be expected to babysit him, not when they're still innocent whatever those guys are, to be delivered to safety. Jack Noir will be safe in the hands of his court-ordered caretaker, Miss Paint. She seems to subdue his trenchant personality more effectively than your own. I'm starting to fuck up now, I'm sorry. After all, she's already keeping an eye on him after your stern glare froze him in place. You really shouldn't keep this messenger waiting any longer than you already have, though. He rushed all the way here just to wait for you to finish reminiscing. You recognize him as one of the volunteers sent to scout the camp perimeter. He seems uneasy. Understandable, seeing as he just had a run-in with one of the most unpleasant scoundrels you've ever had the misfortune of encountering. Luckily, this message is evidently something entirely unrelated. Ooh, let me not fuck up for the rest of this comment. I'm trying not to stutter. Get it right. You take a knee to hear what the scout has to say. Oh, PM, receive important delivery. You take a knee to hear what the scout has to say. He says he stumbled upon a mysterious green goblin in the forest. No whatever these guys are you have ever seen has sported a green shell. It could very well pose as a serious threat to your people's safety. PM, thank the young messenger. You give the scout a reassuring pat on the head. You tell him that he's done a great job on the lookout, but that you will now take the threat of the green menace into your own hands. From the time being, you send him back with a warning not to wander away from the camp. Look at that man feeling good. Like, this man feels like he's accomplished something. What a nice guy. What nice creatures. Investigate the potential emerald interloper. It seems the Verescent villain will not be found so easy, given the planetary greenery. The planets, not the planetary, the planet's greenery. Coupled with the vague direction provided by your lookout, tracking down will be likely a challenge. Or not. Before you can even finish your last thought, you nearly trample over the fiend as it slumbers. You have no clue what manner of a creature it may be. An elf? Some sort of hobgoblin? A green-painted carapace? Whatever it is, someone already saved you the trouble of tying it up. PM wake-bounded whatever. You poke the thing with your sword in an attempt to rouse it. You remain cautious. There's no telling how it might act once it awakes. Oh, he woke up? Alright. Just has a sword pointed at him. Just, yeah, hey, I'm gonna kill you. And now, question mark. Well, now we're caught up. We're officially caught up with the page. I hope I didn't fuck up reading too much. My camera got dark, actually. The sun was shining through the window, and then it just got dark out of nowhere, but I guess I didn't notice until now, so that's just gonna be weird, but there's no point. But alright guys, so that's Act Omega. Until they release more updates, which I guess they haven't updated anything since, damn, November. Shit, it's fucking February. Well, hopefully they continue updating whenever they are done doing whatever they're doing. But this comic's really good. Like I said before in the beginning of the episode, leave your comments on different comments you want me to read in the comment section below. I'll check them out, whatever, etc. Leave a like, comment if you liked it, and as always, have yourself a damn good one. I'm Attica now, but nah, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Night of Heart, Audi, wink, wonk, wink. I can't reach. Bro fist, wonk.